Here we are today with James Romero, absolute crusher at poker and life. And today we're going to go through a hand where we talk about a blunder that many people make on a regular basis.
Yeah, a lot of my students are doing this. A lot of amateurs I'm seeing are doing this.
Hopefully after they're a student for about 3 seconds, they don't do it anymore though.
Maybe an hour.
Okay, maybe an hour. All right. You open it up with King Jack under the gun. Is that the mistake?
Nope.
Okay, underplay. King Jack under the gun, nice, easy raise. Low Jack calls, folds around to the big blind, who calls. Three-way pot, flop comes. Jack, 9, 8. Big blind checks, and you opt to check. Is that the mistake?
Yeah, so this is the main event. We would assume that people are playing correct ranges and not too wide, and I think the low jack's range is very, very strong on this board, so we definitely want to be checking a decent amount to him, even with some of our stronger hands to protect our range. He has 8s, 9s, jacks, queen 10, big flush draws, so pot control is good here.
I think a lot of people think I have a top pair that's very vulnerable, clearly, so I must bet it, and I must bet it big. Because there's 2 people on the pot, and I don't want to get outdrawn.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that when you get a lot of action, you're usually not in great shape.
Right.
So check and see what develops.
Yeah, I think it's good.
There's some world where you check low jack bets, big blind raises, and then you just dump it, and you don't lose anything. But this time, only the low jack bets, third pot, big blind folds. And now we can either call or raise.
Yeah, I definitely like calling here.
But
like I said, his value range is pretty strong. I think we would raise maybe kings plus and then some bluffs.
What would a bluff look like on this board?
Ace 10, king 10. Maybe get wild with the ace of diamonds king, something like this.
Would you rather have a king or a queen for ace king or ace queen?
Yeah, probably a queen.
Probably queen because of gut shot, right? You want to be check raising with draws, hands that have equity when called.
Yeah.
That,
incredibly strong hands and draws and blockers to their calling range.
I feel like you may be a little bit careful with 10s here, because if you check raise a 10 and then get jammed and have to fold, it'd be terrible.
When I say 10s, I meant like king 10.
Yeah. Good 10s, I get it.
Pocket 10s, no.
No, not 10-10.
Oh.
No, I mean, like, even king 10. I mean, imagine you check raise king 10.
Right, and you don't want to be doing it too much, for sure.
I feel like I'd rather check raise a random queen, and the only one's like ace queen and king queen.
Sure.
All right, get in there, mix it up, be polarized.
Sure.
Fun. You have to make sure your value hands are like actual value hands, though, and not,
King Jack.
King Jack. Oh, right. All right, so we check call. Turn is a 4 of hearts, pretty much a complete brick unless you add the pocket fours.
Right.
You check, no merit in leading, right?
Wouldn't be the worst, but I like a check here.
This is kind of a weird spot because your range should be decently strong when you check call, right? So you want to be leading when the turn is good for you, but I feel like both of your ranges are kind of on top of each other at this point, right?
Yeah.
So you should not have any turns that are good for you.
Yeah, I think checking range here is fine.
Yeah. Okay. So we check. Opponent now bets 37K, about 2/3 spot. We have 140 total. Kind of a nasty spot where if there are going to be a lot of bad rivers.
Right. He could have queen jack suited, maybe some jack 10 suited, so I do think we could get called by worse here on the turn. We're shutting out a lot of equity. If you look at most people's turn betting ranges, it's high equity hands and pairs, so getting those high equity hands to fold, I think is good.
High equity hand meaning flush draw, straight draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I decide to pile it in.
It feels risky in the main event to pile in with only top pair, but
it's also risky to call.
It is risky to call. A lot of people don't realize that because when you call, sometimes a bad card comes on the river and you have to check fold.
Right.
And that would be really, really bad because now we're losing this huge pot. I think a lot of people don't like the idea of check raising in a tournament for their tournament life into a range that could be strong, right? I mean, why couldn't the guy have queen 10? He certainly could.
Yeah, you need to get to 100 million chips in the main. I'm not thinking too much about tournament life.
If you talk to a lot of the best players, a lot of them just don't care. You got to get 100 million chips. That's a lot of chips.
Yeah, the min cash is only 1.5x. I'm not playing for min cashes.
We're playing to win.
Yeah.
All right, so we load it in. Opponent calls a queen 10 and you're out. Oh, wait, no, he has ace 8. What? Why does he have ace 8?
I don't know. I see a lot of amateurs just betting middle pairs on turns. This is clearly a flop check and a turn check. You want to be polarized when you're betting the turn. You want to have your strongest hands and you want to have bluffs, and you never want to bet mid pair. The issue being is that A, you're not getting value from worse hands, right? I'm not calling this turn with 8-6 suited. B, your checking ranges are too capped. If you're just going to bet through, if the low jack here is just going to bet through with all of his pairs on the turn, what happens to his river range? It contains nothing. Therefore, a wise opponent can overbluff and you can't do anything about it because you don't have enough pairs. So really bad mistake. And then also just calling this check raise as a punt as well. When you look at my range, I'm going to have all of my value beats you. You're literally only beating a bluff, and my bluffs are going to be high equity hands. Even a hand like King Queen has 10 outs going to the river. So on average, my bluffs are going to have 20 to 30% equity versus your calling range. This is really, really bad.
Complete punt.
Complete punt. The bet, the call. He didn't play one street well.
All right, so let's go back. Did he play pre-flop okay? Can he call your early position raise?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. So he played pre-flop okay. He could 3-bet.
I would much rather see a 3-bet. Yeah. Flatting a good player with ace-8 suited in EP is not going to be making much.
Notice if he just 3-bets, it already puts you in kind of a bad spot.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably fold.
Right.
Wins the pot immediately. On the flop, 3 ways, bottom pair, top kicker, checks to you. You don't have to bet just because you could have the best hand.
Right.
Just check it through. Try to get to the cheap showdown. You'll be betting polarized in these spots for the most part, or at least...
Yeah, and if a deuce rolls off, like a deuce through a 6 rolls off on the turn, we get a bet pot with King Jack, because now we know that our hand is the nuts, pretty much.
Sure, I'm mainly worried about the opponent at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
The opponent, yeah.
You played your hand fine. Fine, good stand.
Absolutely, he needs to be checking the flop with bottom pair.
Right. Then, say it does check to you on the 4 turn. Probably just keep checking.
Yes.
Because you have third pair.
It's a clear check. You're not getting called by worse.
So what do you think makes these players bet the flop incorrectly and bet the turn incorrectly with these bottom pairs? They just think they have the best hand? Or they don't want to get outdrawn?
It's a feeling thing. We've been seeing it since the beginning of poker. People just feel that their hand could be the best or might be the best, so they're betting. The new technology, the new software has shown us that you need to either have very strong hands or very weak hands, and you're checking through those middle strength holdings.
So yeah, simple as that. Check it back. Get to the showdown. Maybe win, maybe lose, but don't lose a big pot, that's for sure. And instead, this opponent give you a full double up.
Yeah.
What a blunder. The main event is live and well.
Yeah.
As is poker. All right, that's going to be it today. Where can people follow you on the internet?
You can just search James Romero on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You'll find me.
It'll come right up.
Yeah.
There you go. Good luck in your games. Have fun. Please don't punt with middle or bottom pair. Please, 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 please don't punt with those hands. They're bad. Just check it down. Well, they're bad when the pot gets big.
Yeah.
They're great when the pot's medium, or just check. It's okay to check. All right. Make sure you check the like and subscribe buttons. We'll also click the notification bell. Bright and early. They make us come in at 4 a.m. to use this recording studio. Would you believe that? We do it all for you. Good luck. Have fun. We'll talk to you next time.